the health industry's new bad boys. So how much sugar is hiding in our everyday food? Dietitian and AUT Senior Lecturer Dr. Karen Zinn joins me now with a whole bunch of things that you may or may not be aware has lots of sugar. Or yeah, I mean, this is amazing. Essentially now we've been told that we should consume less sugar. We talked about this the other week, that, you know, it used to be fat, keep it low fat, but now it's sugar is the bad boy, and that's what we need to consume less of. And in fact, the World Health Organization is They've halved their recommendations. So they're saying that less than 5% of your total daily energy should come from added sugar. Wow. Yeah. That's not much. Yeah. Okay. Should have come a lot sooner. Do you know how much we actually are? Sort of, you know, how much the average person is? It's sort of up 30, 40% or? It's high. It's high. It's around 150 grams or so. So yeah, it's way too much. All right. So we've got a whole bunch of common household foods, things that many of us would eat, you know, every day. That's right. Should we start at that end, at the orange juice? Sure. And it's represented, obviously, at the front with sugar cubes. That is how many teaspoons is it of sugar? Yeah, so one sugar cube equals 1 teaspoon. And what's interesting with the first few here is that with Coca-Cola, people know that there's a lot of added sugar in it. But what people might not realise is that fruit juice, even fruit juice that says no added sugar, has a lot of natural sugar in it. So you can see there's around 8 teaspoons of sugar in that, whereas you know, a glass of Coke would be around 7 or just over 7. So potentially more in the orange juice. Yeah, that's right. And yet, you know, you might sit down to your breakfast of a morning and think that that's a fairly okay thing to have. That's right. And, you know, from a marketing perspective, when you look at some juices and it says no added sugar, people think, oh excellent, no added sugar. But there's, you know, the natural sugar, the body handles it the same way. Okay, so, and the chocolate milk, that's not looking flash either. Yeah, it's not looking flash. We've got around 7 teaspoons of sugar in that. Now, if I had to say which is the best of these, you know, I'd say none. But if I was forced to choose, you know, at least the flavoured milk gives you a bit of protein and a bit of calcium, so it gives you more nutrients than. Even better than the juice and the Coke. But I'd still say water or plain milk. Water is free. That's right. It comes out of the tap. The thing with the orange juice, what if you were to literally squeeze your own? Well, you know... Is that any better? It amounts to a similar thing, because you'll notice if you ever squeezed your own, you need a lot of fruit to squeeze it. So it just ends up being more sugar. Yeah. Okay, moving right along, we've got sugary cornflakes. Yep, some sugary flakes. That's just sugar in a bowl. Yeah, and you know, the range of cereals in boxes these days have a lot of added sugar. You can see this one is an example of one that has 6 teaspoons of sugar, and that's only a cup. And you know, the kids of today tend to add sugar to their cereal anyway, so you know, you're probably ending up with a lot more. And you can see that just by looking at it. It kind of glistens, doesn't it? It's glistening. It really is. Okay, so that is to be avoided at breakfast time, because kids just don't need to start the day on a massive sugar high, do they? That's right. Yeah, okay. Banana, now that is a healthy thing to have, surely. Yeah, and I definitely say that fruit, and particularly vegetables which do contain carbohydrate, which is sugar, that's a better source of sugar for you. Okay. But what people need to realise is that too much fruit gives you a lot of sugar as well. So a large banana here would give you between 5 and 6 teaspoons of sugar, and a cup of grapes, and you can see that's quite, you know, it's a small amount of grapes. It's quite conservative. You've still got 6 teaspoons of sugar. That's hard to register when, you know, the difference between that choice for an afternoon snack or a biscuit, you'd go, you know, if you were trying to be healthy, you'd go for that. But you would be. It has. You'd be better off from a nutrient perspective to have fruit rather than what's next door, a muesli bar. But people just need to acknowledge that fruit is a good source of sugar. All right, so keep it to a minimum-ish. Well, that's smaller portions anyway. The muesli bar, I don't know. I'm not big on them because they're just processed and packaged. For a good reason. For a good reason. It's all processed, all packaged. Holds a bit of sugar. Some of them hold better nutrients than others, but there are far better choices to have as snacks. Not as much as I would have thought, but it is quite a small one. It's small. Not as much as I would have thought. Yogurt. Now, yogurt, it's a tough one because I suppose it's been given a good name by your unsweetened, your natural yogurts that have nothing but goodness in them. But then you've got this guy. Yeah. So people think that they're doing a good thing when they're going low-fat yogurt, but in actual fact, some of the low-fat yogurts, particularly those with fruit, have a lot of sugar. So this one in particular has around 8 teaspoons of sugar in it. That's a lot of sugar in yogurt. Is that a little pottle? That's a cup, which would be a little bit more than a pottle. Right, even so, that's a lot. Yeah. We get up in the morning, we get get our toast and we put jam on it. We put sugar on it.
Yes, we've got a couple of tablespoons of jam in here, which could be an amount that someone would put on, 2 or 3 pieces of toast.
Okay.
And that amounts to 6 teaspoons of sugar. And if you've got toast with jam in the morning, that's pure sugar. You're getting sugar from the bread as well.
Wow.
So,
okay.
that's
not the best breakfast.
Sugar hit. Yeah.
Go for the egg.
That's right.
What's that? Is it honey? Honey. Okay, we've got honey, tomato sauce and chilli sauce. All of them fairly high. Well, the tomato sauce not as high, but the chilli sauce, oh my.
Yeah. So this is just a good indication of where we find added sugars in foods, and we cook with a lot of sauces. We like our things swimming for some reason, and what they swim in tends to come with a lot of sugar added.
Yeah. Okay, because you kind of think that's part of your savoury meal, don't you?
Yeah, that's right.
There you go, you've got 6 teaspoons. And what's on the end? Oh,
that's ice cream. So ice cream, that's got 5 teaspoons of sugar.
For just that little bit?
That's a half a cup of ice cream. So, that might be 1 scoop if someone's dishing it up for you.
Righto. Take-home tip for sugar? What's your best advice if maybe you're thinking about trying to cut it back a bit?
Take-home tip is that we need to eat a whole lot less sugar in general because too much sugar turns to fat.
Yeah, and do you know what? I've been doing that for the last couple of weeks, and it is amazing how good you feel when you cut down the sugar.
Yeah, I'd say actually another take-home tip would be focus on foods in the fridge rather than foods in the pantry. And
things you can grow out of the ground. Thanks,
right.
Karen. Lovely to see you as always.
Thanks.
Brilliant information. Coming up, One Song Is Never Enough from these guys. The Hipstermatics are back with the Beatles classic right after this. Brilliant.